All right. Well, hey, looks like Trump is threatening to arrest Zorhan Mandani. All right, because of reasons. So Larry Sharp, Mike, Jose, Keaton, Russell, you better get your interview with Zorhan Mandani as soon as possible before it's too late. Because otherwise, it looks like Trump's going to arrest him. Why? I don't know why. I don't know why, indeed. But here we are. Here we are. Here we are.
In your beloved New York City, may well be led by a communist soon, Zorhan Mandami, who in his nomination speech said he will defy ICE and will not allow ICE to arrest criminal aliens in New York City. Your message to communist Zorhan Mandami.
Well, then.
All right. I think he's a Democrat socialist. There's a difference between the two, but okay. Communist Zorhan Mandani. All right.
We'll have to arrest him. Look, we don't need a communist in this country, but if we have one, I'm going to be watching over him very carefully on behalf of the nation. We send him money. We send him all the things that he needs to run a government. And by the way, they get about 3 times what you get, Ron. If you look at the per capita, Florida gets 1/3 of what New York gets in terms of the number. Ideally, he's going to turn out to be much less than a communist. But right now, he's a communist. That's not a socialist. You know, I've always said, we will not have socialism in this country. In the speeches, I said, well, what? They skipped socialism. And you got a lot of them like that. And you see AOC, she's out there with her, bad IQ. She's out there ranting and raving about how wonderful he is. And look, so far he's winning. He still has a race to win, but so far he's winning, and he has an advantage as a Democrat in New York City. I was there a long time ago, and it was a long time since a Republican won the city. But you would think that a Republican would be able to win. Or you have a good independent running, Mayor Adams, who's a very good person. I helped him out a little bit. He had a problem, and he was unfairly hurt over this question. He made a statement to the effect that this is terrible. New York City can't have all these immigrants come in. And like he was indicted the following day. And I said, that was a phony indictment. And it was a phony indictment. That was a Biden indictment. I said, don't feel bad. I got indicted 5 times. Every time you opened your mouth. That was a bad group. That was a very dangerous group, I will tell you. These were not nice people.
All right. Well, hey, look, I guess he's speaking from experience about being indicted, It's one of the things where I could sympathize a little bit with Trump, okay? I could sympathize just a tiny wee bit. So what's going on here? So Democrat mayor or mayoral candidate who won the Democrat primary, Zorhan Mandani, made it clear on Tuesday that he would not be intimidated by Republican U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to arrest him. So there was a journalist who was calling Mandani a communist. Again, he's more of a Democrat socialist. About Trump, about his pledge not to cooperate with ICE, whose agents are working to carry out the president's promised mass deportations. And of course, Trump is saying, well, then we're going to arrest him. Trump, people are trying to arrest you. Couldn't you sympathize just a tiny bit? Come on, man. Where's your heart, Donald? It grew 3 times that day, and then it shrunk down again because it was like, screw this. Mamdani, who is, again, a New York State Assemblyman, won a huge victory just a few days ago in regards towards facing off against Andrew Cuomo and a whole field of Democrat challengers for the New York City primary. And, of course, I do have to approve of the way they did ranked choice voting. I think every election should involve ranked choice voting. But again, I've also made my opinion very clear. Abolish all political parties, get money out of politics. Let's have ranked choice voting. And hey, surprise, surprise, maybe the people's votes will actually matter. Isn't that a controversial statement? So Trump said on Tuesday that his administration will be watching Mandani very carefully. He's not even mayor yet. He's not mayor yet. But I'm wondering now. He says they'll be watching Mandani very carefully. So does that mean that the game is set and the Democrats might actually help out Mandani? I don't know. That's me being paranoid. All right, so there you go. The president obviously added a lot more into this, but he also made another statement about Mandani, all right? And I want to pull this up here. This is another video here. So let's go ahead and pull this up here for all the lovely, beautiful people tuning in and watching Hardlands Media.
And a lot of people are saying he's here illegally.
Now, I will be raising the volume on this when I clip the video.
We're going to look at everything. And ideally, he's going to turn out to be much less than a communist. But right now, he's a communist. That's not a socialist. You know, I've always said
We already played this part. Yes, he called him a communist. He was just there with Ron DeSanctimonious. So he did respond. Mandani did respond to Trump, saying the president of the United States just threatened to have me arrested, stripped of my citizenship, put in a detention camp. Is he going to go to Alligator Alcatraz and deported? Not because I've broken any law, but because I will refuse to let ICE terrorize our city. His statements don't just represent an attack on our democracy, but an attempt to send a message to every New Yorker who refuses to hide in the shadows. If you speak up, they will come after you. That Trump included praise for Eric Adams in his authoritarian threats is unsurprising, but highlights the urgency of bringing an end to his mayor's time in City Hall. Mandani also said, at this very moment, when MAGA Republicans are attempting to destroy the social safety net, kick millions of New Yorkers off health care, and enrich their billionaire donors at the expense of working families, it is a scandal that Eric Adams echoes that this presidency's division, distraction, and hatred. Voters will resoundingly reject it in November. Again, in addition to Mandani and Adams, the general election candidates are also including Republican Curtis Silva, Independent Jim Walden, and disgraced former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is now running as an independent after losing the Democrat primary. According to the results released Tuesday, Mandani got 56% of the votes compared to Cuomo's 44%. So, what can we take away from this? Well, I don't think Donald Trump's going to be a big fan of Mandani, should he win. Again, it's going to be a very tight race. A Republican running, an independent running, and then, of course, you got Cuomo, Eric Adams, and then Mandani. It's going to be a five-man race. And only those that have the strengths and the money and the power and the people behind them can actually effectively win. So Cuomo still being in the race is a factor. But if I were to be a speculative person, and I'm probably going to be wrong about this, because Cuomo's name is very toxic, and I think New Yorkers, the people of New York City, while your pizza is second place behind Chicago-style pizza, they are waking up to the fact and remembering, oh yeah, that Cuomo, he did a real terrible job as governor. I think, and for that, I'm glad that you guys are waking up. Very good. Very good indeed. Indeed. But I could see this happening where Cuomo will drop out and, dare I say it, possibly endorse Eric Adams. Because there's one thing that's made abundantly clear. The establishment doesn't want any kind of quote-unquote progressive. Now, I made it very clear about people running in the Democrat Party. We'll have to wait and see. And I think this is the words from Due Dissonance. Wait and see. Wait and see how Mandani plays out. But again, I can't in good conscience support a Democrat. I can't in good conscience support anyone who's part of the two-party system. Break away from it. Break away from it. It's the only smart choice that you have by breaking away from the two-party political system. It's the only thing you can do to save your mind mentally, emotionally, psychologically from disappointment. Stop it. Get help. Get help now. But threatening to arrest and deport somebody because they're politically different than you. Donald Trump, when you were against the ropes and the Democrats were doing everything they could to prevent you from being on the ballot, I was against it. I was also against anyone being censored or suppressed who were supporting third parties and independents, or dare I say it, even supporting Donald Trump. People have a right to vote. People have a right to pick who they want. And you yourself had a right to free speech, Mr. President, as does everybody else. Not everyone's going to agree with your perspective and point of view, and there'll be some people who will. Some people will be in the middle of the road. But I do remember last election cycle, Mr. President, where the Biden administration, Democrats, were doing the same thing to you. That's not right. It ain't. It ain't. It ain't. It ain't right.